Hey guys, how you doing? Your boy Context here, bringing you another Pub Stomp playlist video. And this is just a game that I played today. Uh, the title for this video, you guys can see, is I Shoot Lasers, because I really do. Just look at some of these kills I get. I don't get the biggest kill count. I mean, I had a bunch of games that were 80 plus, 75 plus, a couple like high 80, low 90 games. But I mean, I was just shooting straight lasers this game. Plus, I was playing my brother and some of my friends, so adds a little bit to the fuel, I guess you could say. But the actual topic for this video is going to be, someone asked me to make a video on what I think about the CoD competitive scene right now. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to start with the fact that they switched ownership, really, of who's doing the events, and it's ESL. Which I think was a fantastic decision, because ESL's done an incredible job with CS and other esports. They really are the wave right now as far as leagues that should be owning competitive Call of Duty if we want to see growth and development in the sport. I also think it's a good thing that they're here, because players get more stable salaries, and they've also attracted a lot of big orgs. LG, COG, Cloud9, TSM, etc. For you guys that only watch CoD E-sports, you don't know many of those names, but they're household names in just about every other esport. Those are some of the big dogs. And so yeah, I mean, most of them didn't get a chance to get really good teams due to the fact that they came to the scene kind of late. But I mean, just their presence is a big influence in itself. So ESL really is bringing a lot to the table. Only downside is there's not going to be a lot of LAN events. But I guess I can live with that if the online league is good enough. So speaking of the online league, now we're going to break down how the CWO works for those who don't know. So we had 3 seasons last year with MOG. With CWO, you have a stage 1, which is your online season, and then you have your stage 1 finals to see who wins, and then you have your stage 1 relegation. So the bottom 4 teams will play the top 4 teams from the Challenger division, which is where all the amateur teams are, and then they'll battle out for the last 4 spots in the Pro League. The top 8 seeds in the Pro League get to stay regardless. So that's a really important part. And then after stage 1 relegation is just stage 2 finals, which is the regional qualifier, and then CoD champs at the end of the year this year. Which I like having CoD champs at the end of the year, because it only makes more sense that should be the end of the season. And then the next CoD will come out like 3 weeks later, which is awesome. TIE always should have been since after Black Ops 2. Let's see. Alright, so next we're gonna talk about teams and underdogs and teams that won't do all that good this year, in my opinion. So first we'll start with some of the teams that I think as of right now, with no real LAN experience, are the best. And I say no real LAN experience because Tostino's Invitational and the online or the LAN qualifier weren't really full LANs. Teams were just making sure they qualified, but that was about it. So we're gonna start with teams that I think are gonna excel. Teams that I see right now being like final 3 at every event, and that should be placing extremely high throughout the year, are FaZe, Envy, and Rise. Now a lot of people must be throwing fits because I didn't mention Optic, but there's good reason for that. Rise has grinded this game more than any other team, and honestly, as I'll say later, Octane is going to be one of the best players this year, especially with that AR. Envy, we have the duo back of TP and Aches, and they have Cap's experience and Slasher's AR skill, but the key on that team is just that Teep was always good at Black Ops. J-Cap's always been good at Black Ops, and Aches is back to taking things seriously. He wants those championships now that Krim is ahead of him again. And I love that because Aches is my boy. Then we have FaZe, which have placed their probably the best AR in CoD history. Sorry, Proofy fans. And that team is just dominant. Zuma and Attach are gods in S&D. And they're really aggressive sub players that, in my opinion, are probably going to outdo Scump this year. At least as a duo. And they have Enable, who's a great vocal leader, I guess you could say, along with Clay. Like, he's plays opposite and keeps the team calm and collected while Clay gets some hype. And that's just gonna do wonders for him. Now, why don't I have Optic in my top 3 as of right now, mind you, without any land play, is because even though Formal's been shredding it as of late, I just don't see him being as good in this game as he was in AW. Karma is better at this game than he is at AW, but he's not Black Ops 2 Karma just yet. Scump will always be Scump, he'll always put up numbers, and Crim will always get the shot calls on his team, right? But Crim can have some destructive games and then some really subpar games. So they have the firepower to compete with any other team, but if teams like Rise are really as good as they should be, then I say they take top 3 over Optic at some of these lands. Then again, Optic is a lot better at S&D this year than they have been in past years, so that's going to help them a lot. Alright, so now we've covered what I think of the teams. So now let's talk about players. Breakout players, or players I guess you could say think are the best players this year. I have a lot of hope for Octane. I really think that he's going to stand out as like a top 3 AR along with Placer, and we'll see if Formal can hold up that mantle. But I know Aches is back to using that M8, and even with a sub he's ripping it. So look out for someone on Envy, or maybe even one of these lower named teams like a LG to come out with a fire AR player. As far as sub players, everyone knows Attach had a breakout year last year around Champs time, and Zoom Up had the best second half of AW, even better. Scump had the best first half, Zuma had the best second half. So one of those AR, or one of those subs from FaZe will probably be the best sub in the game if it's not Scump. But there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be right behind him in just terms of skill. So the sub category this year, although it's definitely super important, you should really be looking out for these ARs to get map control, since it is a typical Black Ops game. Especially on some of these hard points like Breach and Fringe, where the rotations are everything. Back to good old fashioned anchors. And players that I think are going to slump this year, no disrespect to the Formal fans out there and the OG fans, but I think Formal's going to have a decent year. It's just not going to be anything like his AW year, which doesn't mean he's a bad player or anything. It just means that he'll be outclassed by some of these Black Ops 2 veterans. Other players that I think aren't going to have the best year, I'm hoping the best for Karma. I really am, but I've seen him on Twitch almost every day, and he either makes big plays or doesn't. Then again, that is just from what I'm seeing online. On LAN, he's known to be an animal, so yeah, LAN play is gonna have a bigger role. In fact, after the first LAN that everyone is playing in, I'll probably update this video and make another one. Speaking of LAN events, as most of you should know, the first one got announced for this year, UMG Carolina. Its location is gonna be Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and y'all can look it up for more information. It's the second weekend of February, and it's a part of the CoD Challenger League, or the CWO Challenger League. So you have to be 18 to play, unfortunately. So like, I wouldn't be playing in it per se because I'm 17. But if you're 18 and you can get a couple people to go, you should. Even if you don't do extremely well, you can still do good enough to get recognized. And it would just be fun to play on LAN for those who haven't. Really is dope playing on those systems. The winners do get like the COD points, or whatever they're calling them, World League points, which gets you closer to placing top 4 in the Challenger League, which is what you're gonna need if you want to get into Pro League for Stage 2. So yeah, that's my esports update for you guys. Got about a minute left in this video, so I guess I'll start winding down. I have another Pub Stomp video coming out later today, and I think that'll be the end. I'm not posting a lot of videos today, but I'm gonna record some tonight and post those tomorrow. But I have these Pub Stomps videos out. The How Did You Slide is gonna be out today, and I had a live commentary of a game that we lost, but I carried my team in. So yeah, expect more live commentaries. That's probably the videos that are gonna be coming out tomorrow. And that's all I have for you guys. I'll let these last 20 or so seconds wind down. And Context signing out.
is ours.